Hey everyone, welcome back to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so grab a brush, grab some models, grab some paints, and paint along with me. Let's rid our world of unpainted models, shall we? As always, huge shout out to Cody Rue and Adam. You missed a spot. Today I'm going to be working on some Tyranids. I'm going to paint some Barbgaunts, and then maybe some Von Ryan's Leapers, and we'll just see how far I get. I'll show you my progress. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with it so far, and I can't wait to do my update video on the month of February. But I'm going to talk about the last 24 hours because it's been a weird 24 hours. So let's get started painting. Yes. Hey everyone, we're back. So let's keep painting. Today I'm going to work on finishing up these Barbgaunts. I might make a quick video on how I've been doing my basing. It's been like this. Yeah. I really should. I'm trying to look for more opportunities in my regular painting to make some quick videos because I really do miss making painting tutorials. And I think that's what a lot of people miss in my channel. Maybe battle reports, because I haven't made battle reports in a while too. But yeah, I really do want to make some quick painting tutorials as well, or some quick tips. And we'll do that in the near future. So yes, I'm trying to see the opportunities in my painting challenges to myself, because that way I can kill two birds with one stone, essentially, right? I can get stuff done, and while I'm working on it, I did film. I just lost a couple takes, a couple steps of painting tutorial of a couple of the models I did during my Dark Angels painting challenge. But yeah, so we'll see. So the Barbgaunts are almost done. I just have to paint the reds, and then I'll paint some stones and the alien feet and stuff, and go from there. I might wait not to base these today, so that I can actually make a video about that. A quick tutorial video. That'd be kind of cool. But I've had a really good month of painting. A really good month of painting. Sorry, I have the hiccups. I'm trying to turn them off. So I'm going to take some Evil Sun Scarlet. I'm going to start painting some gradients. Not gradients. The feet. And we'll go from there. And then I said I'm probably going to paint the Von Ryan's Leapers after that, because I have I should have a bit of time. And we'll go from there. Let's keep painting for a little while. Get an hour in. Have a good time. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. But so far, I have painted, between us, I have painted, this month, 20 Hormagaunts, 20 Termagants. So the Termagants are all done. As you can see here. Ooh, fancy, right? The Gene Stealers. Nice. And, oop, dropped it. Neurogons, little guys, cool. So I've painted, and Ripper Swarms. I have the 4 Ripper Swarms as well. They're down there. So far, I have painted, this month, I've completed 65 models, which is phenomenal to me. I'm doing a painting challenge, as most of you know. And this year, I'm trying to rid my world of unpainted models. I'm going big or going home, basically. Which is kind of weird because I'm in my house. But this year, I am trying to literally finish my pile of shame. Unless, my goal is actually a model a day on average. Because I estimated my pile of shame to be roughly about 366 models, approximately. So I figured, perfect, I can paint a model a day on average, and I will be okay. But in the end, I think I might be higher. I think my pile of shame actually might be higher than the original 365 count that I estimated. It might be around the 380 mark. But that's okay. So if I can get, 365 models painted this year, that leaves me with pretty much nothing for next year. And if I pick up a model or two along the way, like I already admitted, I bought a Orc Battle Force back in January. It's okay, because I'm going to finish the year significantly negative, right? And so after the first month, I finished... not very well. I only painted 4 models, but it was like some big models, or some detail models, I guess, like the lion, who I loved painting. One of my favorite models I've ever painted. That was an awesome time. And yeah, so I painted 4 models, but I bought 19. So I finished the month positive 15 models to paint, which is not what you want to be at after a month in a painting challenge. But I knew the long term, the Tyranids were going to help me catch up, right? And so this month alone, I've painted 65 models so far. And after these 5, I'm up to 70. So I'll be done 70 models this month, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a quick dry brushing there as well, just to bring up a little detail, make it pop a little bit. I'll try that out. So I've painted 65 models and 70 after this. And so, again, the first 27 caught me up for January, because I was 27 back. And then the next 29 were for February, which brought me up to 56. I've already painted 65, and after I paint these 5, I'm up to 70. And so 70 would put me at essentially, so 70 miniatures, so 75 so far year to date, 74, gets me to the middle of March. So now I'm into middle of March's painting challenge, essentially. And obviously I'm going to lose a couple days in March. I'm going to Adepticon, and I really look forward to anybody who's going. You know, it'd be awesome if some of you are going. But yeah, so I'll lose a few days, but that's okay. I'll be fine. As I said, I'm starting the year good. Of course, the remaining Tyranid models, they're the big boys, right? But they're not that far off completion, because I took a lot of steps before I went and started painting each squad separately. I'm not that far off. Like, I could theoretically paint the Screamer Killer. I could have it done in about 5 minutes. Maybe, not 5 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes at most. I could have that model done, and then basing will take a little bit of time. But not too bad. The Screamer Killer is almost done. The Hive Tyrant is going to take a little bit of time just because there's some areas that I haven't touched the colors yet. But nothing too crazy either there. The one model that's going to take me a lot of time, or not a lot of time, just there's some colors to be applied, is the Psychophage. But again, I could probably finish it if I dedicated like a couple hours, I could finish it in a night. But again, I'm thinking of making a quick video on the mouth. Maybe some wet blending, or some quick wet blending with contrast paints or something, you know? Just so I want to make some quick tip videos. I'm not going to call them quick tips because that's my friend Chris's thing, but my chair is very squeaky. That's pretty funny. I love this new angle that I'm filming at. It makes really, it's a really easy angle to paint at. Yeah. So yeah, I'm catching right up. This is good. Tyranids are good. My next painting challenge is going to be probably Necrons. I don't want to paint Necrons. I actually, stopped painting Necrons. They were kind of annoying me. So that's why they're next. I want to enjoy painting Grey Knights, and I want to enjoy painting my Orcs. So I'm going to use them as the the icing on the cake, my motivation for wanting to finish up my Necrons. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy painting the Necrons last time. Maybe I'll be back into the energy with it. I have some cool models left to paint. I don't know if I'm going to pick up anything else, to be honest. I might just paint what I have. We'll see. Like, the coolest model that I've always wanted to paint for the Necrons is, of course, the Night King? Night King? Yeah. So, he's cool with his throne. But, we'll see. I don't really think I want to pick up any more models in the meantime, because I can always pick them up in the future as a reward to myself of getting out of my pile of shame. But I don't know. I don't see myself playing a lot of Necrons this year. I'm probably going to be painting, to be honest, I haven't decided what armies I'm really going to focus on this year, but I think Tyranids. I really do love Tyranids. I always love Tyranids. And I love the slight changes recently, so some of my monsters creatures are going to be really fun on the tabletop. Dark Angels. I know somebody called me out on it. I forget the viewer name. Also, a huge shout out to Cody Rue. Adam, you missed a spot, as always. For sounding too negative, and I didn't mean to be, maybe I was just in a sour mood. I was trying to just come off as genuine. I just wasn't enthused when I filmed that video regarding the Dark Angels new units. I wasn't that enthused, and I still kind of stand by my opinion. I'm not a big fan of the Combat Patrol box set. I think they should have done more Dark Angel-y focused models, and I do see the person's point that the Blade Guard look Dark Angels, but I just kind of think it'd be really cool if you filled the Dark Angels, or at least one unit in the Dark Angels Combat Patrol box set was a Dark Angel specific unit, which helps justify that box for Dark Angels, right? I feel sometimes that the Space Marine box sets are too interchangeable. You can take this, like you could take the old one and build any army, or you could take the old Space, Ultramarines one and build any army. And I guess that's why they want to do it, because they don't want to just pigeonhole a box. But there's value in selling. Like, imagine if they took some of those newer models, right? Once again, like, what if instead of the Blade Guard, they had the, the new Blade Guard guys. What are their names? Yeah, I'm losing my mind tonight. It's okay, I'm tired. The other guys, the new Dark Angel Blade Guard, basically. That would have been an easy substitution, and it would have sold boxes. People would have bought the box, because then it becomes an interesting starting point of your Dark Angel-specific army. I didn't want to sound too negative, but I agree. They called me out, and I rewatched it. I'm like, whatever. I agree. Yeah, maybe I was a little negative, but as you guys know, I do try to be positive. I try to focus on the positive things. This particular codex just irked me a little bit, because Dark Angel's what I've been focusing on for a long time, and and they really got hit hard. I feel, in retrospect, so far, obviously, as far as codices go, codex, like an actual codex, this is a supplement, right? So that's good. Nothing else. Stones. As far as the supplement goes, obviously it's the only supplement that's come out so far in this edition, and it really hurt the army. I feel the Dark Angels left significant. Obviously, there are some cool options to play. There are some fun options to play. But in the competitive meta perspective, it went down a couple notches, and it didn't need to be honest. Which is really weird, because I just feel that they nerfed a lot of the newer units, which defeats the purpose, because you want to sell them. Whatever. And then, obviously, as far as codices go, I don't think there's any debate. AdMech I need some more stone. AdMech needs some love. And I think they're going to get love. I really do think they're going to get love next next Unitorum Field Manual update. But, they need love. Oh my goodness. AdMech. They were, out of all the new codices, a lot of people felt in their reviews that AdMech was like the weakest of the codices to begin with. But there were some interesting options. And then time's kind of told that AdMech isn't winning much. Not at all. AdMech isn't winning much at all, so AdMech kind of needs some love. AdMech needs love. So I think they're going to get some love, hopefully. And I really do hope that, again, your comment was awesome. I agree. maybe GW will drop the points costs because, as I've mentioned countless times, historically, especially these last couple editions where GW has been on the ball so much for updates, that like you shouldn't buy a model. I know, agree, you shouldn't buy a model for the rules. I know that, but if you buy a model solely for the rules, like the people who are the win at all cost gamers, they have money to burn. And I've been in the metas with several win at all cost gamers. And when you're only buying the latest hot thing, the shelf life of a hot model is not what it used to be. Right? It's not a whole edition. It's months, literally. So if you're buying a model that's overpowered, and you may not be buying it because it's overpowered, but we all know the gamers who find out what the most overpowered thing is in the codex and buy as many of them as you freaking can. So now the rule of 3 has been in effect, right? Because people used to run 9 Hive Tyrants, 9 of every, like as much as you can of everything. Essentially, I'm going to paint. I have a little. No, it's okay. I have a wet palette going. So, what was I thinking of doing with these guys? Oh, I missed some spots. I pulled an atom. Let's fix some things. So, let me just put away my wet palette for a second. Oop, and I hit the camera, of course. So, sorry about that. I'm having one of those days. There we go. And I'm not used to having the camera so close to me. Yeah, there we go. You're all painting along anyway. That's all good. So, what was I saying? Yeah, just if you're buying the latest, hottest model, you've got months. Because if it's too powerful, it's going to be nerfed pretty heavily into the ground. So maybe there's an advantage to buying the weaker models. Because you're essentially buying low, selling high, right? You buy the model when the rules are weaker, and then it slowly gets stronger. That could work. Oh yeah, I wanted to do a quick dry brush. Good. I'm just going through and making sure I hit all these spots. I was missing the same spot on a few of these models. Pulling an atom. Cool. Yeah, they look good. Let's finish up the reds. Then I'll do a quick dry brush, and then they're done. As I said, I might save off on the basing for. I'm counting these guys as done basically, but I'm going to hold off on the basing until maybe tomorrow night and film a quick, video on how I've been doing the basing. These guys have nice, large, open bases. I really like that. That'd be a good idea for a quick tutorial, Yeah. But overall, I've loved painting my Tyranids. I always do. And I said, they're such an easy and efficient army to paint, because essentially you just can batch paint the entire army, right? So, but they've caught me up. And then up next, Necrons. Because, Necrons. Which is cool. I just don't remember how many Necrons I have. I think I have 30 Necrons left to paint. So maybe I'll make it like a 2-month painting challenge. These guys, I'm so happy that I've been able to knock them out so much quicker than my Dark Angels, because the Dark Angels took too long. I really wanted to be more aggressive with those, and I got busy. And so now, I'm really excited to get my Tyranids on the tabletop. I can't wait to get them in the game. And I'm going to make a video about this. I was wrong. I'm wrong all the time. And I'll admit this. I'm not too proud to be wrong. I was really not that impressed with the new Tyranid models compared to the old ones. And And I'd have to say, the new Gene Stealers do have so much more character than the old Gene Stealers. I'm mixed about the new Hormigons because they're going to be a nightmare to store. Like I use like battle foam kits. This is just such a weird, like there's too many difference in shapes to make them storable. But again, they have a lot of character. I like the bases. Cool. The new Termagons are the kind of the least of the upgrades. They're slightly bigger bases, a little more character. But I would say I'm wrong. I really do think that they're an upgrade from the previous ones. It's just, yeah. All right, so let's do a quick dry brush of some Lothern Blue over the brain areas. And just kind of like an overbrush. Just pick up on the raised areas. And make them, pop a little bit more. It's been a crazy day. I'm going to talk about my day in a second. The last 24 hours. But it's been a wacky day and a half. Perfect. That just makes it pop a little bit more. Yeah. That's good. So those guys are done. Look at that. 70 models. Now I'm going to work on another 3 today. Von Ryan's Leapers are next. Because I'm only 20 minutes in. Probably. About 20 minutes in. And again, I would normally base these with you. But I want to save them for a quick painting tutorial. Just a quick video of how I do my bases and maybe some tips. Quick tip for some muddy winter bases. Muddy winter bases. I think it's muddy winter. So, yeah, what else? Yeah, let's talk about my last 24 hours. So, we got hit. We knew a storm was coming, right? It's wintertime in Canada. And a really crazy, we got a wind warning Sunday. I was told there was a wind warning for today, and then all of a sudden got a rain warning. I was like, rain? It's winter, right? It's wintertime. Snow warning, perhaps, it would make sense. But wind warning and rain warning. And it said warning up to 75 to 100 millimeters of rain, which is tons of rain. Like, this is flooding. I felt like maybe I should go to the zoo and gather 2 of every animal. And wow, it hit so hard yesterday. And it was nasty. Nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. And this area, where I live, the power goes out a lot. And so I have a generator. And there's also a cool service that the province offers that you can pay. It's a subscription. Like, you pay like $15 a month. But you get this device that you can hook directly to your box outside. So you can run a generator to your box and then run the generator. And so essentially you don't need to connect individual appliances to your generator. You just connect the generator to the box and you can control it. It's very convenient and I've used it countless times. It's awesome. And my wife and I are really big on insurance, so we of course went for it, right? So look at that, they're done. All done. I'm going to save the, maybe I'll dry brush the rocks right now. And then I will go to the next models, the Von Ryan's Leapers, they are the ones I am the most clueless on. I have no idea how I want to paint these Von Ryan's Leapers, so I've been kind of just painting them as we've been going along, and I'll clean up some spots later and for the Von Ryan's Leapers. And there we go. Just getting some. I want to keep my dry brush dry, so I'm actually just switching colors by. There we go. So, Von Ryan's Leapers. So, and it came, and it hit hard. And so, yesterday at the end of the day, now winds also, we got like 100-kilometer-an-hour winds during this time. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So the whole day I was prepared. So I filled up the bathtub with water because I have a well, right? When power goes out, you don't get water. I was prepared the whole day, and I worked from home, and nothing happened, but it was a crazy storm. And we avoided the storm, obviously. I didn't go out much. Other than I had to go out in the morning because I ran out of dog food. And so I went and picked up my dog some food. It's what responsible owners do. And so that was it. I was like, okay, cool. And at the end of the day, I showered. I refilled up the bathtub just in case. I went to bed. Nothing was up. And then last night around... I went to bed early. I was really tired. So at like 11:45, 11 something, I woke up and the power was out. The power had died just after 11 o'clock. And we're like, oh, well, we'll have to do something tomorrow. The only problem is my sump pump turns off when there's no power. And again, crazy amount of rain, right? All last night. It only stopped raining this morning at like 6 a.m. So every like 2 to 3 hours, I was waking myself up last night to go check the sump pump because I can manually pump it or, you know, figure things out. I was told when I bought this house to connect it just to an eliminator battery, like those little devices that you charge, like, you know, those portable battery packs, and they don't work at all. They don't run enough voltage or ampage that it actually gets going when you want it to start. So it didn't work. And I know that it doesn't work. So yeah, that wore me out last night. Oh, by the way, here are my Ripper Swarms. I'm going to put them with my finished models as well. Ripper Swarms. This particular batch. It's like bubbles are forming or something. That's okay. It just looks like eaten. Little tire bullet. Maybe they're bullet holes. But yeah, they look like bullet holes. Why not? So that wore me out a little bit. And so today, of course, woke up, no power. The power website. So here are my Ryan's Leapers, just to show you. I don't know what I'm going to do with these tendrils. I think I might try to build up white. Maybe a quick dry brush for those parts, and then keep the tendrils darker. No idea. And for the pinks, I literally just did a very, very diluted version of Blood Angel Red, the contrast paint. It becomes like a pink. And I missed a couple spots. So I'm going to finish those up right now. And then go from there. I have no idea what I'm doing with them. So I just might paint randomly and get them done. Yeah. I have no idea. So all good. It's all good. I'm just going to have fun. When they get done, they get done. So, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to thin down make some pink, and then I will paint the pinks, and then whatever I want to paint today. It's all good. If I can do these Von Ryan's Leapers today, that'd be 68 done, which is nuts. Oh, sorry, 68. 73 of my 81 models of my Tyranid painting challenge. That leaves me 8 models for the month of March, plus 3 models that I'm going to rebuild and fix up. So, cool. There we go. Yeah. Let's grab these guys. So, make sure he's in focus. Cool. So that wore me out a little bit. Today I woke up and I said there's no ETA on the power. It only came back on like an hour ago. It was off for almost 24 hours without power. And so I ran the generator, and at one point we overused the generator and it shorted the generator, and I had to figure out how to fix that today, which was pretty crazy. But I was trying to, our generator is not easy to pump out the gas. So I was trying to go sparingly on the gas in the generator, to be honest, all day. So I was filling up to half, letting it run for like 3 hours, and then I would just let it run out or get it close to running out, and then I would just refill it again. That's how I was doing it all day, which was cool, but that took a little bit out of me too. And then I couldn't get a good. I'm used to running in the summertime, and there wasn't enough ground that I could cover with it. Like I couldn't put in the snow. You don't want to put a generator in the snow, so I was running on the concrete area, and then it was too close to the house, unfortunately. So then I had to get an extension cord. So I had to go buy an extension cord this morning at like 8 in the morning, so that I could extend it to a further part away from the house, because you obviously don't want to get carbon monoxide poisoning or something, right? Don't want to do that. So that was a busy day, just a busy day in general. And we finally got our power back on, which was awesome. Just after dinner time. So of course we went out and got dinner because we couldn't make anything. There was no power. But these guys are a little warmer than my normal models. It's all the pink. I have no idea why that is blue. That would be red. I'll clean up after. Yeah, crazy day. No power. But all of Atlantic Canada got hit really hard. There were thousands of people without power today in my province, so it happens. I'm glad the power's back on. They work very hard, the power people, to fix the situations. Yeah. But I feel that that's a sign, all the rain, I guess, that winter is maybe on its way out, which is good. It's March. Like, it's March this week. It's going to be March, which is awesome. Like, we're almost in March. And March, like, to me, February is always the fastest month, you know, because it just goes by so quick. And it's not even that short of a month this year. It's 29 days. It's a leap year. Which is cool. So, but February's blown by. I knew it would, especially when I'm doing these painting challenges, because I just kept myself really busy, and now it's blown by. And of course March, I forget sometimes. I only have 3. Adepticon is in less than 3 weeks. I should get ready for it. Luckily, of course, I do have my flight booked. This year I'm taking. I don't want to sound pessimistic, and I'm not going to sound pessimistic. I'm putting this year's trip to Adepticon is a little risky, in the sense that I hope it happens. I really hope it happens, because I'm flying out of a tiny airport where I've already had half my flights through that airport canceled. The reason why I chose that one was it was actually really hard to get to Adepticon. I wanted to get to Chicago by a decent time. You know, I really wanted to get to Chicago by a decent time that day. So I'm only there, now that I'm flying, I'm leaving Sunday morning, like at 7 a.m. I'll be at the airport like 4. So I don't really get to enjoy Sunday, and I really wanted to enjoy Wednesday. I like being in the States. I like seeing people, and if I go there early enough, like I could hang out with some of the crews that I talk to and I see on Wednesday, right? Makes sense. Get an extra day. Awesome stuff. I only see these people once a year. So make the most of it, right? And yeah. So I really want to get there Wednesday. And then for the airports, the bigger airports would only get me there like Wednesday night, really late, because of connector flights. So I just didn't want to do that, right? I wanted to get there early, so I had to go to the smaller airport. And then I have a tiny connector window. I only have like an hour and a half. The bare minimum recommended was an hour. So I figured it is greater than an hour, right? So hopefully I'm safe, but it's just risks that I'm taking throughout this process. And I just hope that they pay off. If everything works out, I should be okay. I just hope everything works out. And I get to Adepticon. You know? That's what I hope. Baseball started up. I'm watching baseball when I can. So far, the Jays have been terrible. But preseason games, do they really matter? Not really. They're just used to get your players in shape, back on track, and see who you want to cut, send back to the minors, not sign, right? And the Jays have pretty much a set roster, it's been a disgustingly bad offseason, I think, for the Jays. But a lot of teams have had disgustingly bad off seasons because like 5 teams have purchased all the players. I do feel, I know it's a polarizing subject, I feel that there should be a cap in baseball. Because there's a cap in all the other sports. And I live in like, I know baseball, the Jays are actually one of the bigger, people forget, like the Jays actually spend money. But we spend money, but we're still like half of the first place team, but we're like 5th or 6th. But like I come from the busiest, market in hockey, and there's a cap. It prevents the Leafs from being able to buy everyone, and that's fair. But in baseball, oh my goodness, several teams in the past, of course, you can't necessarily buy a championship. I agree. Last year, the Mets bought every player under the frickin' sun, and they lost. And they lost a lot of money, and they had to trade the players that they signed, and some of them went back to their old teams. They traded them back to their old teams and lost a lot of money, right? And that could happen. But it's just frustrating when, like, I was really, one of my favorite Jays was Teoscar Hernandez, an outfielder, and he got traded to the Seattle Mariners. And when he did, there was always a chance he could come back. And so there was a chance that the Jays were interested in him. But then, like, his estimated value was probably between 16 million, probably on the high end for what he did last year. And then the Dodgers went and paid him $25 million, but $10 million of that was, they're now obsessed with this deferred payment structure, which is what they did with Shohei Ohtani as well. And I think one more player as well, where they're paying him $1 million a year. They're paying him like $15 million up front and then $1 million a year for a period of 10 years after he's going to be long gone as a player. Which is just a weird situation. It happens sometimes in baseball, but it's so weird paying a player for so many years after they're done playing for you. So it just keeps their salary down, gives him an incentive, and pays him like $10 million more than what he's... Pretty much every dollar of that bonus money was more than what he's worth. And the Jays just couldn't compete with that. You know? So... All right, what next? Let's paint the claws and the talons and stuff. Or, no, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Because... just keep painting. Where are we at for time? 36 minutes. Wow, only 36 minutes. This episode's going to fly by too. But again, if I can get these guys done, counting them done for the month, that brings me to 73 miniatures for the month of February, which brings me right back on track. You know, I went from 27 models below my theoretical goal to like 14 above. So if I painted 73, I needed 56. So that would be 19 days. So yeah, essentially these guys bring me to Adepticon. I'd be painting to where I should be at Adepticon. Good. There we go. This is my Adepticon model. They're cool. They have a bit of character. This brush is starting to split. I got to rework it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Adepticon. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, I'd say, because I'm having a good time. I recently got an MetaQuest 3, and I downloaded Beat Saber. Beat Saber, I think is the game. It's been fun. Feels like good exercise. Love the music. I'm actually not much of a gamer, like video game wise, but it's been cool. I've never really had virtual reality, so it's been really cool. Leave comments in the comment section down below. By the way, if you have a Meta Quest, what are the best games? What are the cool games? What are the games to avoid? Please tell me. Let's create a discussion. I have the feeling some people here might already have one, so yeah, help me out. I like beats. I downloaded the Linkin Park one soundtrack because I had to. My wife really likes Queen, so we did the Queen one too. Next one, I don't know what we'll do next. There's a classic rock one that looks pretty awesome. With like Freebird. Might give you a heart attack. On hard. But yeah, it's been fun. I came with another game too, but the game took up like half the memory. So that Wrath, what it's called. Not Wrath of Kings, obviously. When we're going around killing gods. Or attacking gods. One thing I got to get used to though is it gives me motion sickness. I never thought I would have it, but yeah, definitely on the games that involves a lot of movement. Not the Beat Saber where I'm moving. Just like the ones where like the character's moving, and you feel like you're moving, but you're not actually moving. It really throws me off. I gotta get used to that. So I'm working on some different settings to see if it'll, make me feel better. I get woozy. And it's just because there's a discrepancy in my brain. Like one's moving and one isn't. You know, why is that moving? Yeah, doesn't make any sense. I might just do a light dry brush of white to make these areas really pop, the red areas. But he's coming along. Interesting model. Is it? I'm kind of just painting these guys I have no idea what I really want to do with them, so I'm just painting them. You know, just turn off your brain and paint. Have a good time. I am really looking forward to warmer weather. I just want to get out, enjoy the outside again. I think I'm going to have a good... obviously, I don't want to jinx it. I really have a good year. I really hope I have a good year. I want to have a good year. It's been a good year so far. It really has. Of course, I'm going to keep making painting as one of the foundations because I really just want to get out of my... I want to get this pile of shame gone. And it's really cool. Like I feel like painting is kind of... It's not free because I have to keep buying paints and stuff, but it feels like it's free. Wargamer math. Yeah. Oh, connective tissue. I can work on that too. I should make a video on that. Wargamer math. Yeah, I'll stop painting the reds for a sec. Or sorry, stop painting blacks for a second, then paint the red areas, the pinks. I realized I could probably fill in these little gaps. The pink. Yeah, that would really work. I want to work with the paint while before it's thawed, not thawed, hardened and dried up. Any other spots? No, that should be good. Yeah, that should be fun. Hey there. These little patches of like fleshy areas. Just keep working on them, you know. And what else? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the warmer weather. I think most people do. It's a time where this province comes to life. I have so many plans and I'm hoping to have a good time. I'm hoping that we all have a good time together. You know, all y'all in internet land, you know who you are. Hope we all have a good time. Because I'm having a good time. Queen, yeah. But I let my I'm slowly removing some of the expensive, just trying to lower the cost of living, right? Because in life we spend so much extra money. And so we decided, my wife and I, to let we canceled our Disney Plus subscription. And I made the mistake of, I forgot to watch the end of a series, whatever, Andor. It was pretty good. The first half of the series, I watched the first like 8 episodes, and I forgot to watch the end, so maybe I'll have to catch up on that sometime. Maybe at Christmas time, I'll subscribe for like a month, just to get all the shows I want in, all the Christmas shows, everything like that, and then cancel again. Because it's getting so expensive these days with all the streaming. You know? It's so expensive. Like Netflix has gone up in cost because now if you don't want ads, you have to pay, and Crave, and then we have Disney Plus. So we've knocked out Disney Plus. And right now we're really loving Crave. So we might make another cut. We just haven't decided yet between Disney Plus, Crave, and Netflix. But each one has its own strengths. But right now we really love Crave, what it offers. So if we're going to keep one, it's probably going to be Crave. But just, again, why do we need so much streaming services on top of the TV? TV is definitely going to be one of the next things I cut. To be honest, TV, I'm just finding less sports time is the only time I really care about TV. Baseball, right? That's what I want to watch. And we got an alert recently because we've been at this new place for about 2.5 years. And we got an alert saying, just, in 3 more months, so I guess 2 years and 9 months, but just, in 3 months, your fees are going up to this because the introductory rate is going away. Now, my friend always recommends, apparently my friend just likes to call them and say, I quit. And then they're like, oh, we'll extend it. He's like, oh, you better. When really that was the entire time what he was trying to do. Just fight them on that. But you can do that. And maybe we will. Or we might just kill TV. Because why do we need, these days, news is probably the only thing I'm going to miss on a normal day. I do watch some of the local news, but I don't watch any shows. I haven't watched much of Survivor lately. I haven't watched much of anything. There hasn't been a TV show that really grabbed me lately. And then where I live in Atlantic time. So when I moved here, I naturally thought that everything I would watch, I'd get to watch like an hour before the Eastern Standard Time, and it's not the case for most things. Everything that's live, obviously, no. So if a game starts at 10 o'clock your time, it starts at 11 o'clock my time. If you're in Eastern Standard Time, right? That makes sense. And then TV shows, I watch at the same time as you. So where I live, 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock is still filler, because the primetime stuff hasn't started yet. It starts at 9 o'clock my time, so that it all ends up with your time. I guess it's to prevent spoilers or something. But, yeah. So it's just, it's tiring, because if you're watching a TV show, again, 10 o'clock shows end at 11, so everything starts later. So we don't find ourselves watching a whole lot of TV. My wife loves, I love Food Network myself, but my wife loves, some reality shows, Below Deck. I love mostly Food Network shows and sports. So we're just thinking about it, trying to slowly but surely, You know, in this spring, I'm probably going to do a huge just cleanup of my items and remove as much up from my life that I don't need. I have so much stuff left over sometimes. I don't know if any of you feel like that way too. Like I'm not planning on moving anytime soon, but I wouldn't move just because the amount of stuff, right? The amount of stuff, and I find that in our lives we just pile up stuff, and of course, you know me, I have a pile of shame, and as do all of you. I know that we all work on this together, but eventually my pile of shame is going to be gone. And that's good. And my goal is every one of these Tyranid models, all 81 of them, will be in games together, possibly in different games. I want to try them out, see how they do. I've never tried with a Von Ryan's Leaper. I've never tried with a Screamer Killer. I think the Screamer Killer is awesome, and he'll actually kill in some games. You know, just don't go up against the Lion, because then he'll be killed. But can't wait to get these guys in the tabletop, kicking butt, having fun, right? I definitely want to play in a tournament or two this year if I have the time. It's so I want to get into tournaments again. I do. I am worried, to be honest. I've not tested out my meta enough that I might be under or overestimating the competitiveness of my meta. And I don't want to be that guy who shows up to my first tournament in a new meta with a killer list. I am okay if I show up to a new tournament in my meta with a weaker list and I get tabled every game. I am okay with that. I prefer not to get tabled every game. But at least then I can gauge my meta. Because you don't want to be that guy, right? You don't want to be that player that shows up to a new meta and be like, oh yeah, I brought... Luckily, I don't have any power army. You know, I don't have 3 of really anything that's competitive. I don't think. Nothing comes to my mind. I have 2 walking hive tyrants and 2 non-walking hive tyrants, but I have hive tyrants are not the craziest thing. Dark Angels don't have a lot of killer thing. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have massive amounts. I have 1 of everything for most armies that I play. Like 1 of everything. Orcs are kind of the exception. I have like 3 Death Dreads, 12 cans, right? Like I love my Walker list, but they're not the craziest thing in the Codex either. Plus they're orcs. They're fun. So I don't know. I would love to get into a tournament, maybe with these guys. But and I might just go on the lighter side or the fun side, because you know what? I can win or lose. But if I go to have fun, obviously, and I know it's cheesy, but if I go to have fun, I'm going to have fun. I don't care, right? I'm okay with being tabled more than I'm okay with tabling. I've tabled people in tournaments. I've been tabled in tournaments. And I honestly have more fun. And it sounds really weird. I have more fun when I'm being tabled than when I'm tabling. Because usually I can have fun with the person with me. I feed off the fun of my opponent, right? I want us to both have a good time. And if I'm tabling my opponent, it may not be fun for them. You know, the only time it is funny, where we've all played games where your strategy is sound. My friend Dave used to be the best at this. My friend Dave. His strategy... Dave is if you're watching Dave, compliments to you. Dave is a solid general. Like, him and I would have strategic games. Dave would bring strong armies. Right? Dave is a good general. Right? Like, I feel if Dave brought a win-at-all-cost list, Dave could win a tournament. And I think him and I have actually played in a couple tournaments where we didn't end up facing each other because there weren't enough rounds, but we both thought we were bringing fun armies. And we both ended up undefeated, which was really weird. We just didn't see how. We both came in and were like, okay, we're going to get tabled every game. And we ended up undefeated. Ooh, I just picked up a model by the worst point, whatever. It's dry. So... I'm just going to do here is just a little bit of white to balance out that pink. And it'll just make it a little bit lighter. Cool it down a little bit. Like that. Oh yeah, that works. Looks more textury. I like it. Mikey, he likes it. Dave is a very good general, but we've both played games where like our strategy does not represent the outcome, where one of us just rolls insanely hot, or the other one rolls insanely cold, and it's fun. Like eventually, you just start laughing because you both know that it is not a representation of your skills as a general. It's not a representation of your ways of playstyle. It's just like, you know what? The dice gods today are not in your favor. And that's okay, right? And we have a great time, and it just becomes a fun game of how many ones can you roll or how many sixes can you roll, you know? Back in the old days of deep strike, turn one, right? Like certain armies, Space Marines could deep strike turn one, right? And it wasn't against Dave, but I once played in a game where my opponent deep struck turn one, but it was with an arm. It was with a group that could scatter, and scatter dice, of course. Back in the day, missed those dice. They were so much fun, and the scatter dice went off the table. Right, the dice. Sorry, the squad went off the table. What used to happen was it was called a mishap, a deep strike mishap, and you would roll on the mishap table, and if you rolled a 6, they were destroyed. And literally, my opponent, top of turn 1, with his Death Star unit, tried to deep strike in my backfield. It was a risky move, went off the field with a perfect amount, and then died. So it's top of 1, and back in the day, so I got Slay the Warlord and First Blood in my turn. No, not my turn, his turn. And it was pretty much game at that point. But the great thing about that game, and I remember this to this day, was we had a great time. Because it was basically game. Like, when your Death Star unit, turn 1, commits suicide, and jumps off the table and is dead, like, you have a fun game. Because the pressure's off, and you can instantly, like, okay, I took a risk turn 1. It was a very rare backfire. And I lost as a result of it. Because really, like, again, we kept playing because there is still a chance I could blow the game or I could roll terribly. And I didn't. I rolled normal, and it was an easy game. Because, again, he lost, like, it was like 500 points of his army. Just went off the table, turn 1, gone. You know? It was amazing. I've never seen such a catastrophe. Top of 1. First thing. So we're literally like 5 minutes into the game together, and it's like, okay, good game? You know, it wasn't a game that we normally, like, again, we've all played tournament games where you can literally look at the armies and just go, oh, good game. Like, okay, you're playing this army, I'm playing this army, you're going to table me turn 1, good game. This wasn't like that, right? We were, you know, his army was very good, but it wasn't, yeah, like, at no point was I like, oh, great, I'm going to table this guy. Or at no point I was like, oh, great, he's going to table me. But as soon as he did that mishap, it was just like, okay, the dice gods were not in your favor. This game is mine. Let's have a good time. Let's see what we can do. Maybe you can catch up. You know, maybe I'll roll terribly too. Maybe I'll have a crazy mishap. And in that game, unfortunately, I just rolled normal. It wasn't like a particularly great rolling game for me. It wasn't a particularly bad rolling game for me. And so, of course, when you lose your Death Star, you know, instead, you lose. But that's okay. That's the game we play. I miss, maybe because I'm an orc player all the time, I miss the randomness in life and in this game. I found the games, it's not like, I used to play a lot of War Machine years and years ago. War Machine was a very predictable game because it used 2 dice and therefore had a bell curve, right, distribution. So, and you could always mitigate it by, you spend a command point, or whatever it was, a fate, whatever they're called back in the day. They've changed the name of them since. You basically could spend a point, and you add another dice, which basically allowed you to always pass a certain thing. Makes sense. But over time, like, that's a very predictable game. I love the randomness of Games Workshop, but unfortunately, I found that generation after generation, the game's becoming more predictable. Because, you know, Deep Strike used to be, you placed. Now, there were obviously ways to mitigate it, like drop pods couldn't land on other things. I think they could go off the table, though. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But drop pods couldn't land on other things. They would just minimize their distance so they didn't land on another thing. we're at an hour. This is still wet. I'm going to call it here. But overall, look, I'm done these guys. I'm going to make maybe a quick tutorial on my basing strategy with them. Cool. And my Von Ryan's Leapers. Sorry, but all right, let me finish my point, though. I found that with the way that GW is going with the current editions, I really do miss the randomness with, like, you know, with deep strikes and with blast templates and how that bad things could happen. And they didn't land in exactly where you wanted them to land. But they took up a lot of time, and they were fun. They just weren't competitive, right? Randomness is less on the competitive side. It's more on the fun side, because you want to see random things happen when you're having fun. In the competitive side, you'd have to try to absorb. You'd have to, like, plan for randomness. But the thing is, in the competitive circuit is randomness could ultimately get you eliminated from a tournament, right? You could lose a game and instantly not be in the running of winning a tournament because of a randomness, and that's what they don't like. And I miss that. As an Orc player, like I used to play in 2nd edition, where every time you move Storm Boys, they might just fly off the table or die or randomly place. It was just so much fun. And there was also a Warphead who'd blow off his own head, and the Shock Attack Gun who would jam and kill himself. Like, great Orky stuff. But look at this. That's my Von Ryan's Leaper. And let's end now. So, that concludes another Painting with Jay. As always, thank you so much for painting along with me and ridding your world of unpainted models. I hope your painting projects are coming along well. I hit my tripod again. And stay tuned for more. I'm going to keep painting these guys for the next couple weeks. I'll be finishing them up before Adepticon, and then my video after that will be about Adepticon. And we'll go from there. I'll get them done in the month of March and start my next painting project. So please leave a comment in the comment section down below about how your project is going along, and also what games do you recommend for the meta quest. Yes. Stay tuned for more Painting with Jays and painting videos in general. Until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting with me.